everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Tori Brame. So, yeah, still coming up dry on content. I actually made an amazing video. It really wasn't. It was really awful, but I can't even edit it or post it because I was outside when I did it because I was trying out a new microphone and the audio was so horrifically terrible that I literally couldn't do anything with it. But in that video, I told the most embarrassing story of my life, which seemed the right thing to do at the time, but now I'll just have to tell it again, because that didn't work. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about depression. So one of the things that I've been pondering recently and thinking about, navel gazing, honestly, has been the idea of how do you know when to take meds? And it's tough because it's like you want to be the best version of yourself, but you also want to feel the best. And so, if you're not feeling the best, then you should probably take some medication to help you feel better. And, that's both physically or mentally. But sometimes you feel fine, but you are maybe not the best version of yourself, like people who might have severe bipolar or schizophrenia or something like that, where it's really affecting the lives of people around them. Even people with severe depression, you don't really know that you have depression because this is just how you always feel and you can't really imagine feeling any other way. And so it's like you have an option to take medication, but you don't really want to, for one reason or another. But then all the people in your life are like, hey, you really need to take this. I really think this would help you. And it's like, yeah, it would probably help you. It would help them a lot if you took it, because that would just make their lives so much easier. And so when it comes down to somebody like me who does not have depression currently, might have some mood fluctuation. I have seasonal depression in the summer because I am so weird. I honestly have never even heard of that before, but usually June to August, I'm not my best. I am not my best self. I'm not batting 1,000. I'm not at full capacity. So I know that about myself, and it's is it okay to have those little mood dips and not get on meds for them? Because you just know that that's going to come up and you know how to deal with it. But at the same time, if you're not feeling your best, it is affecting other people's lives around you. But it's do you feel like you need it, or do they feel like you need it? And it is kind of a brag to be oh, I'm not on medication for this, that is something that a lot of people say. And, it is a goal for a lot of people. And I know it's definitely a goal for me, to be on as few medications as possible. And so I get people not wanting to throw that away. And sometimes people have jobs, I know military is a big one where it's if you are on any kind of medication, they need to know about it, and it could actually potentially affect your career. And so it's limping along and dealing with whatever problem it is as long as you can, so that you don't have to divulge that to your employer, is also a big incentive to not get on medication. But even the idea of being your best self, I feel is kind of a fallacy. We are not going to be our best selves 100% of the time, even if we're on cocaine. It's just not going to be something that we can ever maintain. And that's part of just being human, is being able to have ups and downs and mood swings, and maybe not the ups being 3 a.m. you're cleaning every last square inch of the house type deal, that's a little bit more on the manic side, or the downs being you cannot get out of bed, you've stopped eating, you've stopped talking to anybody, you won't wash yourself, but to have days where you're just not feeling it as much, and then other days where you're really excited about stuff and you are feeling it, and your productivity at work goes up, and you really are excited about your life. And so I feel that's important to acknowledge, that you don't the goal is for you to feel good and the people in your life to feel good about where you are. If I had multiple people coming up to me, even if I felt fine, coming up to me and being yo, your mood or your fill in the blank is really affecting us. like that's probably a red flag that I need to pay attention to, where it's like maybe I am not the best judge of how I'm doing. However, if nobody has come up to me and I feel pretty good, I don't really think there's any need to get on medication just for those times when I'm not. Or having maybe like something that is just for the times when you're not feeling the best. Like I do have a prescription for Ativan. I just looked at it the other night because I do take it occasionally when I just get into cycles of anxiety where it's like something will happen that really isn't that big of a deal, but it'll kick off my anxiety in a way that I just can't get back off of it. Like I just can't, I'm not sleeping great, which will increase my anxiety, and then it'll make me not sleep great. It's just kind of a cycle. And so I know if I take a half of an Ativan, I will sleep through the night, wake up totally refreshed and very happy, and then it'll kind of like get me away from that anxiety cycle. My doctor gave me 10 of the Ativan like exactly a year ago. And so I actually had to take another half the other day because I was on that anxiety loop. And I still had 7 full pills left. So I've really only had to do that 5 or 6 times in the past year, which again, I feel like is really good maintenance. Like that's really good to have something just for some times that you're able to take. And that also might just be a coping skill. It's like maybe hiking is your stress relief, the thing that you need the most. Maybe it's going to see a large body of water. And so I think that's really important. So I guess the thing that I've just been thinking about recently is like, as I am headed into those summer months where things are harder for me naturally, am I going to get back on medication? Am I not? And another thing that Wellbutrin specifically really helped me with was just my ADD. And my ADD is off the chain. Like I will, put something down to go do something and I'll have no idea where I left it. Like absolutely no idea. Like this morning I picked up my coffee and I took it over to the fridge so that I could put some cream in it. And then I realized the cats were on the porch, and so I went and let them in, and then I remembered that they didn't have food, so I filled up their food. And then when I went back to the coffee machine, there was no coffee there. And I had no idea where I left it. And I finally found it next to the fridge, which makes sense because I was about to put cream in it. At this point, I had to microwave it to make it like piping hot again, because if you aren't forced to drink the coffee slowly because it's gonna burn the crap out of your mouth, then it's not hot enough, honestly. So it's like stuff like that, I still definitely had ADD when I was on Wellbutrin. However, it wasn't that bad. Like I wasn't constantly looking for everything and stuff like that. And so it's like, I've thought about maybe just getting on some kind of ADD medication, but just to help with that piece and not necessarily the focus of it being on depression. Even then, do I really need it? Like, is it something that is impacting my life in such a way that it would be necessary for me to resolve that? Because like a little bit of ADD is pretty fun, you have all kinds of new experiences, and even if there are experiences that you literally just had, you don't even remember. So it is kind of fun to have that again. And, when I was on Adderall, I felt like a robot. Like I really felt too focused, where I was not able to have flexibility or spontaneity or any of those things that I really like about my personality. So yeah, those are thoughts on medication. And, I'm pretty open on here about like what I'm taking, how things are going, stuff like that. So I will definitely continue to keep you guys in the loop. But yeah, just like that idea of like, how much is your life being impacted by not being on medication? And then also how much are the lives of people around you being impacted by you not being on medication? Something to think about, something I've been thinking about. So if you have any thoughts on this, please leave them below. I would love to discuss this further with you guys in the comments. I hope you guys are doing well. And of course, if you have anything that you want me to do a video on, please let me know, because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this channel. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.